Welcome back to Crypto Front. This is the front line where we are fighting together side by side for financial freedom. Let's go once again and take a look at the JASMY price chart here, because we can see that over the last few days, yes, the price has just been going sideways or lower. But I think right now, as you can see on my screen, that we are breaking this downtrend that has held the price ever since, I would argue, maybe the 12th of August 2025. So we are seeing the first candle outside of this downward sloping resistance, and I think it's something to cheer for. Obviously, this has to do with the location where we are at, because just breaking any random trend really doesn't mean anything, but it is within a specific concept. So we're going to be talking about that today and try to find out what the JASMY price likely is going to be doing. But I will say that right now, a lot of people are bearish. I was posting this bullish video here on JASMY, I think it was 2 days ago, and pretty much everybody who commented was very much negative. I've never seen anything like this. At least you see a positive comment right there and then, and you know, it's almost like a balance. Obviously, some people are going to be trolling. That's normal to see, but with this kind of level where everything is negative, nah, this is really a first time here on JASMY. Now, why am I bringing that up? It's because usually in the market, when sentiment goes to one side, the reverse obviously happens, and at the location where JASMY is sitting right now, we can argue that is almost a low, and with that, you know, sentiment really much in the negative direction, I think it's gonna be not a surprise for me to see the price go ahead and reclaim something like 2.2 cents here. That move on its own from where the price is sitting is quite huge, because we can measure that up to something like, you know, 70-80% thereabout. So it's quite something that is significant. Then from there, obviously, we'll talk about what's happening. But before we start, I want to kindly ask you to help me spread the video by delicately tapping the like button. It communicates with the algorithm that yes, this video may be short and straight to the point, but it is indeed exactly what you need at this point. So without me further running my mouth too much, let's get back into it. And we are starting here on a daily time frame. I have already mentioned that we have broken the downtrend there for JASMY, and it's looking quite okay for this moment. It doesn't feel like that, obviously, for a lot of people, but if you go ahead and put this chart, let's say, on a log scale, you actually see very much clearly that, look, there are higher highs being maintained by the price right there, and technically speaking, it means that you have not lost the uptrend yet. And we're getting closer and closer to the top resistance here, which I just mentioned, which is like 2.2 cents. And every move towards downside is actually getting shallower and shallower. I totally get it. It doesn't feel like that currently, because, you know, it feels like JASMY is pretty much beaten and it will never be back. But the truth is that in this market, you know, we have extreme volatility in either direction. So people only want to see the volatility when it's to the benefit of their portfolios, but also, you know, the opposite is very much true, that this market can be very much devastating. So that's why only maybe 5% of the people make it, because it's just so much very difficult to try and stay positive in an environment where the whole thing crashes like minus 99%, right? I think we can also look at the chart in the lens of like wake of accumulation, and you can see a schematic that I've just put there on the screen, which has got phases A, B, C, D, and E. And you can also see that structurally speaking, JASMY has been repeating that. This is a type of like a wake of accumulation pattern that is not very much aggressive, which goes on to set endless springs, meaning lower lows all the time, scaring the hell out of everybody. But it's much more milder than that, meaning that this area here towards like 1.2 cents would have been our, you know, last point of sale here for JASMY. So we're looking to slowly, you know, start going up and eventually break out of this 2.2 cents region here for JASMY. Then I think we're going to be able to target and even exceed the high that we had back then in December 2024. So that'll be right around like, you know, 6 cents. But I've mentioned time and again that I expect the price to go as high as like 9 cents and even 23 cents. So I'll be waiting to see what eventually happens by there. But locally speaking, with this wake of accumulation pattern, everything is looking pretty okay there. Once again, I have to stress that it doesn't feel like that, but the market, really, to be honest with you, time and again, does not really care about our emotions. It will do what it always wants to do. So things may actually be playing out in a very normal manner, but for us who will be the market participants, it totally feels like it's draining, right? At this point, the RSI is approaching 50, and of course, for extended periods of pumping or rally in terms of like the price, we need to see that RSI breaking above the 50 mark. So in the next few hours, we'll be able to understand if this daily candle closes above that 50 mark here for JASMY. We can also see that momentum here when it comes to the MACD is just actually flipping towards the upside, which is great, and it's just, you know, confirmation of that bullish momentum right there. The MSCI, once again, I mentioned 50 mark, we're going to be looking good, and we have a little bit of, you know, positive shape right there, inverted and shoulders pattern, so we're okay even in that sense. But one thing that we have been talking about time and again is where the rest of the crypto market is, because we were, you know, saying time and again that JASMY does not exist in a bubble. It belongs with everything else in the market, and we have each and every single time proven that is the case here. You can see I have got two charts. The top chart is the market cap of crypto excluding Bitcoin, and you can see that we are sitting at all-time highs right now, just waiting for that, you know, huge blast towards the upside. Interestingly, we also find out that the JASMY price chart, which is down below here, literally moves 1:1 with that whole index there. So you can see that, you know, sooner rather than later, JASMY has to go for that catch-up trade here, because over the last, you know, 4 or 5 years, these things have actually been moving together. So I think that once this index here for crypto starts breaking and making clear all-time highs there, we're going to be seeing JASMY pretty much waking up. Remember, we also have got that wake of accumulation structure there, so things are looking quite okay. Now, someone may be asking if we've ever had, you know, a pattern like that break towards the upside. I will just remind you of Bitcoin, like just as, you know, late as October 2024, and we saw almost the same structure right there, some kind of a cup and handle formation, and you can see that ever since Bitcoin has actually managed to go ahead and rise it up like 75%. Now, if the whole index of crypto altcoins going up by 100%, 150%, that's really a great win for the JASMY price. At this point, yes, it may be very much tempting to give up on JASMY, but, you know, I for one, I don't think it's the best time, because the stage where we are in this market is not really a time to start picking, you know, I think I'm going to pick this altcoin because it will do well. I think everything just will take turns and really push towards the upside. So with that being said, I want to thank you so much for watching the video. If you could, please delicately tap the like button, share the video with your friends and family, and I'll see you on the next one. Take good care of yourselves. Bye-bye.